This morning becomes eclectic at 89.9 KCRW. Once again, we're at the CMJ Music Marathon, broadcasting from the Museum of Television and Radio. We have a studio audience here with us today, and well, maybe you guys could let everybody else know that you're actually here, and we didn't just come over here to hang out. Thank you. Welcome. I'm trying to remember exactly when it was. I'm thinking it was about 4 or 5 months ago that in my listening pile of CDs that I take home every weekend, there's usually 150 or so. And the process of listening to those CDs, as you can imagine, can be a little tedious, but you always find something that you want to listen to some more. And one day on the Sunday morning, as I was going through the CDs, I put this album in and carried on doing things around the house. And all of a sudden, I realized I was listening to the fourth song of the album, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And it was Damien Rice's CD, Oh, and we've been playing it, well, pretty much non-stop, I think, since then, and a lot of people liking it, and I'm very happy to say that Damien has joined us today. He's come in from Dublin to play our show, played a night in New York last night as well, and he's accompanied by Lisa Hannigan, who's going to sing. Damien's on guitar and vocals. Thanks for coming in. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
I think the best thing we can do is let you guys play some music and then perhaps come back and catch up with a little bit of information and whatever, but it's over to you. Music from Damien Rice on When It Becomes Eclectic.
We might kiss when we are alone. Nobody's watching. We might take it home. We might make out when nobody's there. And it's not that we're scared, it's just that it's delicate. And so why'd you fill my sorrow with the words you borrowed from the only place that you've known? And why'd you sing hallelujah if it means nothing to you? Why'd you sing with me at all? And we might live like never before, when there's nothing to give. And how can we ask for more? And we might make love in some sacred place. The look on your face is delicate. And so why'd you fill my sorrow with the words you borrowed from the only place that you've known? Why'd you sing hallelujah if it means nothing to you? Why'd you sing with me at all? Yeah. And why Don't hold yourself like that, 'cause you'll hurt your knees. I kissed your mouth and bite, but that's all I need. Don't build your world around volcanoes, melt you down, and what I am to you is not real. What I am to you, you do not need. What I am to you is not what you mean to me. You give me miles and miles of mountains, and I ask for those. Da 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 da. Don't throw yourself like that in front of me. I kissed your mouth, your back now. Is that all you need? Don't drag my love around. Volcanoes melt me down. What I am to you is not real. What I am to you, you do not need. What I am to you is not what you mean to me. You give me miles and miles of mountains, and I ask for what I give to you. Well, it's just what I'm going through. Well, this is nothing new. No, no, just another phase of finding what I really need is what makes me bleed. But like a new disease, Lord, she's still too young to treat. Still too young. She's still too young. Still too young. She's still too young, still too young. She's still too young, still too young. She's still too young. Yeah, it's not me, but she's still too young. Yeah, you do not need, but she's still too young. Yeah, it's not real, but she's still too young. Yeah, you do not need, you do not. Your mouth, she's still too young. I kissed your mouth, she's still too young. I kissed your mouth, she's still too young. I kissed your mouth, she's, you do not need me. And so it is, just like you said it would be. Life goes easy on me. Most of the time. And so it is, the shorter story no love, no glory, no hero in her sky. I can't take my eyes off you. I just can't take my eyes off you. Can't take my eyes off you. I can't take my eyes off you. Can't take my eyes off you. Can't take my eyes. And so it is, just like you said it should be. We'll both forget the breeze. Most of the time. And so it is, yeah. Colder water, the blower's daughter, the pupil. I can't take my eyes off you. Just can't take my eyes off you. I can't take my eyes off you. Just can't take my eyes off you. I can't take my eyes off you. Can't take my eyes. Ooh, did I say that I loathe you? Did I say that I won't? Leave it all behind. I can't take my mind off of you. Just can't take my mind off of you. I can't take my mind off of you. Just can't take my mind off of you. I can't take my mind off of you. I can't take my mind. My mind. My mind. Till I find somebody you.
It's Damien Rice on Morning Becomes Eclectic, coming to you again from the Museum of Television and Radio in New York City. We're here as a part of the CMJ Music Marathon. And, well, first of all, it's great to meet you after listening to the music and finally getting to see the man behind it. Thanks for bringing Lisa with you as well. Let's talk a little bit about, well, before the album. The album came out about a year ago, but let's go back a little bit before that. I know you were born in Dublin, but you grew up in the countryside, right?
Kind of, sort of.
Almost.
Almost. I was born just outside Dublin, well, just on the outskirts of Dublin, and then we moved to a place called Selbridge, which at the time when I was about 5 when I moved there, I think it was kind of the countryside with there were cows and stuff and sheep and all around. But Dublin has expanded so much in the last while that it's actually joined.
It's expanded out and
expanded
now
out.
it's
So
one
it's
of the
joined.
suburbs.
Yeah. So even though we're strictly County Kildare, it's like it feels like Dublin, you know, because it's so close.
Are there still sheep and cows? And
No.
oh, what a
No.
drag!
Yeah.
But you grew up, I guess, in the country as it was, at least when you were a little
Yeah.
kid. And I'm interested to know what sort of influence Dublin had on that childhood. I mean, obviously you were pretty close by.
Well, Dublin didn't really have much of an influence, I don't think, on my childhood. It was more when I was about from 19 years of age onwards, that kind of time.
Then did you move into Dublin back then?
I
when
moved
you
into
started
Dublin
playing
about
music?
19, yeah. And ever since then, I've kind of hung out in Dublin. I don't really hang out in Selbridge, the place I was from.
Right.
I just found that the people that I met in Dublin seemed to be people I was more on the same kind of wavelength with, and there's a really interesting music vibe going on in Dublin at the moment, which is really, really nice. It's everybody kind of knows everybody in the music circle, and everybody seems to sort of look out for everybody else as well. And there's a real sense of I don't know, not even team. That's wrong. Yeah, there's just a lovely, lovely vibe.
Musicians helping each other.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people as well releasing their own records and setting up their own little labels and stuff, you know. And it's really encouraging seeing somebody do it and doing well, and somebody else doing it, and then you do it and it goes really well, and that encourages somebody else. And it just there's this lovely sort of energy at the moment, sort of the last kind of few years. You know,
In the last
really
5 or 6 years,
Yeah.
Dublin has become really a very vibrant and, I guess, more European city than it ever was before. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, totally. Because there's money in Dublin now compared to, like, say, 10, 15 years ago. I remember walking around the city, and the streets were very, very different. There's lots of new buildings, lots of cafes, which I really like. You know, a lot of people kind of give out about it and stuff, saying it's changed and stuff. But you still have the old pubs that are still smelly and rotten and stuff, you know, and they're great.
Well, you
know?
need those.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be Ireland anymore.
But it's full of like cafes now and stuff, and I think that's great because
and a vibrant music scene,
yeah,
obviously.
oh yeah, really, really.
So talking about you and your music then, I mean, I know that you started recording a couple of years ago, but when did you first pick up a guitar, and what age were you when you sort of realized that singing or songwriting was something that you wanted to do? What were you listening to music from parents or?
Well, my dad was into a band called Smokey, who I don't think were much of an influence on me.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I remember growing up with. I think Living Next Door to Alice is one of the first songs I learned how to play. It's A-D-N-E or something. Or E&D.
Well, you learned the song, man.
Yeah.
So it didn't have any influence on you, but you learned the
Well,
song.
okay, maybe, you know. But my dad played the guitar, and I started on the drums, funnily enough, when I was about 8. Santa brought me a drum kit,
Right.
but it was one of these house drum kits that didn't make any noise. It just you just tapped it, and it was
Smart
just,
parents.
It was just da da da, and it was like so.
Right.
I was bored with that after a couple of weeks. So then the year later, Santa brought me a real drum kit. And I found that as my kind of hand-foot coordination wasn't particularly good. So once I started a beat, it started dum 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 dum, and then be dum 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 dum, and everything just kind of went together. You
Sounds
know,
like me when I
so it's
try
like
to play
1,
drum.
2, 3, 4.
That's a lot harder playing drums than people think. It
Oh
really
yeah,
is, I
well,
tell you.
basically, I think drums you either have it or you don't,
Yeah.
and that's just it. You know. And then I always sang. Ever since I was a kid, I always sang anyway. And then just one day, I think it was about 12 or 13, I picked up my dad's guitar, and I think I tell you what it was. Actually, it was a friend of my sister. My older sister was going out with this guy, and he was in a band, and and this was in school, you know. And he was probably 15, and I was 13 or something. And I remember thinking, I want to learn the guitar and sing like him in a band, you know. So I just picked up my dad's guitar then and. Learnt, I think, G, E minor, C, and D, which is, I think, out of a book, Stand By Me. And then my dad taught me A, D, and E, and that was Alice. And then I had pretty much all the chords, you know, that you needed. And then I think the next song that I actually wrote my first song, which was really naff. What was it? Here in my room. That's GD. Lying on the bed, something like that, you know. And it was about this fictitious lover that I hadn't had, but I just, you know.
So you're like 14 or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was saying, I was missing you, darling.
I think everyone can relate to that, whether or not they wrote a song about it. People were writing poetry or.
So I think that was the third. That was like that was the Stand By Me chords sort of turned backwards, and I wrote that first song.
Right.
Yeah. And from then on, I just stuff started kind of pouring out. You know, it was really interesting. And I was in a band in school. I left that band and got into another band in school, and we went through college.
And you're writing songs at this point?
Writing songs all the way through, yeah.
Now, you also took off around Europe for a while and started busking.
Yeah, that was after I left the last band that I was in.
Right.
We were signed and stuff, and I was just fighting with... I don't know if I was fighting with myself, but at the time, I certainly, if I was a conflict with myself, I was taking it out on the rest of the band members and on the managers and the record company and everybody. I was just scrapping with everyone, you know. Eventually, I just got to the point just before we recorded our album. We had done a few singles with them.
What was the name of that band?
Juniper.
Okay.
Yeah. So eventually, just before recording the album, I just got this sort of feeling of like, I've got to leave, because if I don't, I'm going to kill everybody, you know. So I left, and I just thought I was finished with the music business or industry, because it had kind of depressed me. Something about it had depressed me. I felt confined, or felt I don't know, felt sort
was
of
that like
wrong.
pressure because you were in a band and there was a deal and you had to meet
and I
expectations
was
or something?
Constantly pushing a different direction to everybody else. So I just ended up basically being, you know, the pain in the... Am I allowed to say yes?
Well, you just did. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought I whispered.
That's okay.
So that's what I was. That's what I felt like I became, and I started thinking like I'm just one of these people who are just full of problems and just difficult to work with. So I left it, and I just went and moved to Tuscany in Italy,
right.
Up in the hills, and this farmhouse with chickens and ducks and horse and donkey and stuff, and planted vegetables, and lived there for a while. And then I took off around Europe.
But I'm guessing you're writing songs and you're playing on your own at this point?
Yeah, I was, a little bit, yeah. To be honest, actually, I kind of wanted to forget a little bit about the music when I was in Italy, so I didn't do that much writing when I was there. I was more just with my hands in the dirt, you know. Then I started getting the itch back, and I started travelling around Europe. Then I went from one city to another, and I just lived off the street. Basically, I brought my guitar and I had a little amplifier and a microphone, and I sat on the street and I played my own songs, and that was really interesting.
People gave you money?
Yeah.
Did you make a living doing it?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I had a card with me, a bank card, but I never used it, which was brilliant, you know.
Nice.
I used to get maybe 10, 20 quid a day or something, but then if one day I got restless, you know, all of a sudden I'd get 100 quid in, and that would be time to move on. Then I'd just get a bus the next day. You know? So it was quite interesting and wild and scary, but the thing that I loved about it was that I got to learn how to forget about performing for other people, and just because nobody listened to you on the street really, and you just got used to listening to yourself, and that was something that I had kind of lost from being in the band before and being signed and being, you know, having these people out there to impress, you know, and having managers before the gig saying, right, it's a really important gig tonight, all these people are coming over to see you, you've got to get out there and do. So that took me back to myself, and that was really nice.
So tell us very quickly then about making this record, because I want to get back to music before we run out of time, but just very quickly the process of then coming back and making your own record.
Yeah, I got really itchy and I came back around, I remember it was November-ish, and I just I borrowed some money and I recorded a demo. I recorded The Blower's Daughter.
Which was a single that was released in Ireland.
Yeah.
Right.
And I sent the demo to David Arnold, a friend of mine who was living in England. He does music for film and stuff. And because he'd been interested in what I was doing, and he gave me the money to buy my own studio, because I didn't want to work in a studio. I knew I didn't want to do that, but I knew I wanted to record a record.
So you just set up your own recording equipment?
Yeah.
And basically...
in my bedroom and toilet and kitchen or whatever. Wherever I was at the time, I kind of shift it up and move it around.
Right. Get good drum sound in the toilet.
Yeah. Well, my toilet was a bit small, but the thing I found, I started recording the way I'd learned before. I started putting stuff down to click. So the first couple of months, I put down a load of tracks, and I ended up just deleting them later on, because they were really good quality recordings, but they just were missing a vibe, missing something. So I gave it a break. I just left the studio alone for a while, and then one night I was particularly peed off at a particular person that I'd written a song about, and I came home that night, and the studio happened to be set up, and I just sat in front of it, and I wasn't thinking about an album. I wasn't thinking about making a good quality recording. I was just thinking like, I'm doing this for myself, you know what I mean? And I just put it down. And when I listened back, I went, wow, you know, and that was kind of what started the rest of the recording session that made the record.
Really being yourself and just
being myself and forgetting about trying to make something that's good quality, trying to make something that's where I don't sing flat, or where where I'm lost,
and just the emotion of the song and the moment.
Yeah, and that's exactly how we did the whole record, and that's why it kind of took so long, because I would just wait for weeks, and then one day I'd get an inspiration, and I'd do 2 songs in a day, and then I'd wait for weeks again, and nothing would happen, and then when I'd feel right, I'd start recording again, you know.
Well, I want to get back to music, because we've got about 10 minutes left, so we're probably going to have about 2 songs, I guess. Let's see how we figure out on time after that. But once again, thanks for being here. We're going to come back and give away some copies of the record to our subscribers, and hopefully we'll see you in Los Angeles sometime soon.
Yeah. We were hoping to kind of come over this time, but we only had a few days.
Right.
Jet lagged enough as it is.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming in and playing for us.
Thank you very much, really. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that have been emailing in the site saying, hi, we're from... Well, I'm putting on the accent. You can't
do it. No, do it. They do me all the time.
You can hear it on the screen, you know. But it's, hi, you know, we got your record. We heard it on KCRW.
That's great. I love it.
So thank you very much for that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Amazing.
And we should let people know that they did have copies of the album at Amoeba. I don't know if they still have them there or not, but you have a website, DamienRice.com, with more information. But I'll throw it back to you guys and Lisa, and we'll come back and we'll give away some copies in just a moment.
All right. But here's a song that's it's not on the record, but it's one of the B-sides. It's on the Blower's Daughter B-side, actually. I don't know if I'm wrong, 'cause she's only just gone. Here's to another relationship bombed by my excellent breed of gamete disease. I'm sure when I'm older I'll know what that means. Cried when she should and she laughed when she could. Here's to the man with his face in the mud and an overcast play just taken away from the lovers in love at the center of stage. Yeah, and loving is fine if you've plenty of time. Yeah, for walking on stilts the edge of your mind. I said loving is good if your wick's made of wood and the wick left inside only half understood. What makes her come and what makes her stay? What makes the animal run away? And what makes him stall? What makes him stand? And what shakes the elephant? And what makes a man? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know you anymore. No, 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 no. Ooh, yeah. Hey, 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 hey. You said, I don't know if I'm wrong. It's 'cause she's only just gone. Tell me why is this day taking so long? I was a lover of time. Yeah, when once she was mine, I was a lover indeed. I was covered in weed. Cried when she shouldn't, she laughed when she could. Whoa, closer to God is the one who's in love, and I walk away 'cause I can. And too many options may just kill a man. Loving is fine if it's not in your mind. Yeah, but I've mucked it up now too many times. I said loving is good if it's not understood. Yeah, but I'm the professor. I feel that I should know just what makes her come and what makes her stay, and what makes the animal run away, and what makes him tick apart from his wick, and the lonelier side of the jealousy stick. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That's 'cause she's only just gone. Well, here's to another relationship, bombed by my excellent breed of gamete disease. I've finished it off with some French wine and cheese.
La fille, donc, quand elle joue avec moi, et je pense que je l'aime deux fois, le silence n'ose pas, dis donc, quand on est ensemble, mettre les mots sur la petite danse.
Quand elle joue avec moi et la pluie me manque, pourquoi? Non, non, c'est la chanson, la nuit, le vent, l'amour, le sens de la petite dodo.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la la.
Thanks a lot.
Cold water surrounds me now. And all I've got is your hand. Lord, can you hear me now? Lord, can you hear me now? Lord, can you hear me now? Or am I lost?
One's daughter, allow me that. And I can't let go of your hand.
surrounds me now. And all that I've got is your hand.
Surrounds me now.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Lord,
Can you hear me now?
Lord,
Hear me? Can you hear me?
lost, my lost, lost, my lost, with lost. Lost.
Damien Rice on Morning Becomes Eclectic. Thank you so much for being here. I'm hoping that we can persuade you to stick around for a minute when we get off the air and play us the other song that I think we dropped from the set. So if you'll do that, if not, that's fine as well. But I've got about 30 seconds to get out of here. So my thanks to everybody for coming in as well, and thanks to Damien and Lisa Hannigan. Thanks to Bernadette Barrett at IHT.